Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Nik
Am I a
Handsome
doctor?
here. No, I am not. I will never ask you to do two things. Firstly, I will never ask you to comment or like or share any of these videos. I understand that there is a great stigma attached to this matter. And number two, I will never ask you to be more honest with yourself than I'm willing to be with you guys. So what gives me the right to make these videos? Well, at the tender age of 14 years old, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Really quickly, let's cap what that might entail. All human emotions fall within two very distinct poles, and that is a sense of overriding joy or euphoria, straight down to a bottomless pit of despair that we know as depression, and everything else sort of lies in between those. And individuals with bipolar disorder tend to experience all of those things to a greater magnitude than most. So all of that being said, today's video is going to be on depression. I'd like to introduce a very good friend of mine. What's going on, Mike? Has decided to join me today in talking about depression. Depression is very common. It is something that plagues almost 1/4 of the individuals that occupy the US and also Canada. 21% plus believe that they suffer from feelings of depression, while a 17% have been clinically diagnosed with depression. Let's talk about some of the symptoms of depression. Firstly, if you feel an overwhelming sense of sadness throughout most of the day, if you feel a fatigue almost every day, if you have impaired concentration, if you no longer take pleasure in the things that used to bring you joy, any significant amount of weight loss or weight gain, and if these things last for a period of 2 weeks or more without due cause. I mean, if your girlfriend just broke up with you, bro, of course you're depressed. You know what I mean? Don't run straight to Zoloft. But yeah, if you're experiencing these things, consult with your
Physician, medical
physician,
advisor.
psychiatrist, medical advisor, all of the above. Let's get real for a minute here. I've been all over the spectrum here, so perhaps I can help. That's my personal experience. Yes, I do know what it's like to feel depressed, to feel hopeless.
Well, as far as depression goes, I suffer from a slightly different, or did to a degree. It was more driven by work, primarily. Having done overnight shifts for about 5 years, it began to take away most of my social circles, most of my friends.
Your
and
support systems, your ordinary healthy routines.
Correct. And it starts to wear on you, but after a certain point you have to realize that there are ways of dealing with it. There are ways of getting better. One of the best things that you can do is get out of a job that would do something like that to you. Find a better source of work, find something that you enjoy doing, a passion, a hobby. Make sure that you spend as much of your free time as possible doing what makes you happy. Because more than anything, that is the most important thing with dealing with depression.
Absolutely. And it's fair to say we all need a livelihood. Abilify, Selectra, Cymbalta, we have Lexapro, Paxil, Prozac, Wellbutrin, Xanax, Zoloft. Nausea, upset stomach, weight gain, sleep disturbance, sexual dysfunction, suicidal thoughts, and also suicidal actions. I do not discourage the use of these drugs. I myself take a mood stabilizer that I find to be most useful. A healthy routine. Getting up in the morning, showering, eating a round breakfast. For a square breakfast? Square meal? Is that what we call meals? They're square?
Any
That's
kind of meal.
that's the shape of meal. I'm going to be doing a what the fuck is yoga. I promise that will be a video that is to come. I have a good friend who's a professional yoga instructor who's going to be on board with us, telling us what to do so we're not hurting ourselves, stretching like sleeping, bending dog giraffes.
However,
or whatever.
meditation isn't only limited to yoga either. You can just clear your mind, clear your head, and so long as you have the ability to shut down everything going on in here and focus on what is most important in your life, or think about absolutely nothing if it comes straight down to it. I mean, if you can clear your head to the point where you have no thought going through it, you will find that it does worlds for you just to give your brain a chance to relax, give your emotional state a chance to set back to neutral. You will find yourself feeling much better within a couple of days.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Make a list of everything that it is that you need to accomplish within a single day. Yes, you need to shower. You need to eat. You need to exercise. You need to schedule time to relax so that you know from point A to point B, all you have to do is sit on your ass. Time to socialize. So first and foremost, everybody's got guilty pleasures. Giggity. St. John's wort, that's fantastic. Depending on what your specific ailment is, omega-3 fatty acids, very, very good. SAMI is very, very good for you. Folic acid, let's talk about some things you shouldn't do. You should reduce your intake of sweets. Oh, I know, hurt me. Everything in moderation, but reduce your intake of sweets. Avoid caffeine and booze. Take vitamin B6, especially if you're on an oral contraceptive. Birth control, if you're doing hormone replacement therapy. Vitamin B6 is very, very important. Magnesium. Let's talk about magnesium. Swallow a bunch of nuts. Swallow a bunch of... Not a huge nuts fan. Neither am I. Brinks. Take a bunch of nuts. Whole grains and green veggies. The greener they are, the better. Eat them raw. That diet. Oh my gosh. Anxiety is its whole own video.
Depression by itself can cause a lot of that as well. If you end up falling in deep enough, you just start
absolutely
having the inability to communicate with anyone.
Absolutely.
You freeze. Still something I'm dealing with.
Absolutely. As am I. Come on. Okay, let's bring this video to a wrap. I just wanted to say these few things. The reason I'm making this video, of course, yes, I do have quite a lot of experience with my disorder. The time that somebody told me at the age of 14 years old that there was something quote-unquote wrong with me, I had to understand. And the one thing that I've learned is just because you are the mental or emotional minority does not mean that you are fundamentally flawed. Not even sort of. And it does not mean that you are alone. Because there are so many more people struggling silently with these disorders than you could begin to understand. Because there is such a stigma attached to this that nobody wants to come forward and say, hey, I struggle with this. Also, cut yourself some slack. Give yourself a break.
Keep in mind that if you've been diagnosed with a disorder, it puts you in a class above most normal people. You are stronger as a human being for being able to cope with it and deal with it and make it day to day without too many hiccups, with being able to get yourself out of bed despite everything that's holding you back. And this isn't something that you have any control over. So it makes you a stronger person because of it.
I think that's a great notion to end on. Thank you guys. I love you. Be well. Remember, I owe you. It is on us. And we'll be talking to you guys soon.